Okay, so welcome to Wisdom Warriors. Today is February 5th. It is a bright, sunshiny blue day here in New Hampshire. And even if it's not bright and sunshiny where you are, I am so excited. And I really hope that you are bright and sunshiny on the inside, because that's going to be where it is. So this Wisdom Warriors here in February, the main purpose of this is to go back to, hang on, what did we say we do? Some of you were here, some of you weren't, on January 8th, and we set these amazing intentions. And now let us just say you didn't come to Wisdom Warriors on the 8th. Typically, people will set intentions in January. So what we did back in January is we said, I would like to see this, and we filled in the blank. And then we had an important thing, so that. So there was a so that associated with it. Very important part of the puzzle, right? And so what I'm going to talk to you about is, I'm going to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story. And I did a few follow-up meetings with a few folks who came to the January 8th. And I love those because what happens is I learn more about how I can help people. So without naming any names, what I'm going to say is this person in front of me stated their big desire, right? And then this person in front of me created a smaller desire to get to the big desire. I want to share with you a general part of what this was. This person's smaller desire was a health desire, right? And this person said, I want this health desire to be true because what I know is that once I have that health desire true, I will be able to get to these bigger desires. And then what I began to realize is that this health desire was not, unique to this one human that was in front of me. In fact, I kept meeting with people and they kept talking about their health desires. So that's why I brought on my friend Ingrid, and she did a few weeks ago. I know me and Bob was on that call live. She did some tips around some health stuff. I am not a health coach. You all know I'm not a health coach, but that's not really what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say that these just bringing you back, because a month later, it's like you can't remember sometimes. So that's where we are. Now, I also dug deeper. I'm very grateful for this human because we dug deeper and I said, okay, so this is what you want. You want this health desire. So now as I'm doing this, I want everybody to be thinking, whether you're listening to the recording, you're right here, right now. All right, what's your big desire? And then what's the first sort of big chunk step underneath it? And if it's health, great. If you can be more specific, great. Okay. She said, all right, here's the issue. I said, well, what would work for you? I said, how about some emails? Nope, I can just delete email. Okay, got it. All right, what would work for you, do you think? This person said, well, sometimes I go to meetings, like meetings that for my health, and if I show up to these meetings and the people at the meeting say, oh, that's okay. But you didn't do, oh, that's all right. She says, that doesn't work. I need to be held accountable. So I said, okay, that's it. I said, what if you came on February 5th and you promised to be very open and honest and say, this is what has happened. And then we hold you accountable. Would that work for you? And this person said, yes, I will be willing to do this. And sure enough, that person is in fact in our midst right now. So I want each and every one of you, once we stop the recording, I'm going to invite you to do the same thing. Now, you know two things, and I want you to ask yourself, all right, what would work for me? This person mentioned, oh, I love the balloons. This person mentioned email doesn't work and being too nice doesn't work. I drew something because I want to show you an illustration of I feel like an amazing thought that I had around this. And here we go. I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to explain what I mean. So just give me a second while I share my screen. All right. Here we go. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Thank you. All right. So I'm calling this the journey of the bold wisdom warrior. I'm gonna zoom in a little because I see some people kind of leaning in, and I want to make sure you can see it. Can everybody see it? Like, can you read it? Or do I need to go bigger? Am I okay? Yeah. All right, good. So, all right. So the journey of the bold wisdom warrior, the reason that I'm doing this is that there is a very fine line between accountability, which leads to shame, and then there's this other part like enabling. So when I think back to this one follow-up call I had, when people are kind of too nice to you, it doesn't motivate you intrinsically, because you kind of know you're going to show up and the people are going to be like too much of your friends. Like, you want them to be friendly. You don't want anybody shaming you, but you also don't want to be truly enabled, because that's what you're looking for accountability. So as I thought about this, okay, hang on, where's that fine line? I thought it's almost like a tightrope. It's almost like a tightrope of grease. So I attempted to draw a tightrope of grease. And so as you're walking down this tightrope of grease, what can happen is you can land in these extra slippery spots. And I attempted to show those. So it says slippery tightrope of consistent small steps. There is going to be places where your feet might land and you may fall into, I'll call it a pool of acid, and it kind of goes and sucks you down. You don't want that. You get it. You don't want that. And those places could look like old patterns. Those places could look like shame voices. See, you did it again. Those places could look like, I'll call it false service. What do I mean by that? False service is when you're trying to do your big thing you're trying to do, and it's different, and it's hard because it's different, because our brains want to do the same thing over and over again, even if it's not good for us. And we all know that, but yet it's still just as hard. So there you are doing your thing. It's uncomfortable. You're trying really hard. You're trying not to fall off and into the acid. And then what happens is somebody needs you. It might be your parent. It might be a best friend. It might be your kid. And in that moment, you're going to have to decide. Now, sometimes, Mom, I just got hit by a bus. Well, that's, you put away your stuff and you go. But lots of times it's not, Mom, I've been hit by a bus, but we think it is. It's customers that you feel like, I've got to answer that right now. They can't possibly wait an hour until I just complete this big thing that I know is important to me. So those are places where we can fall off the tightrope, you see? So, but if we are able to hold ourselves on that tightrope, and maybe it's with these wisdom warriors, maybe it's with a different group, right? Maybe it's with an amazing coach who does hot flame coaching. Who knows who that might be? I don't know. But you go across and then you light your light up, right? That's where that magic is. That's where the possibilities are, and you're healthy and strong and confident and all of that. So I really wanted to show you in word, like not just words, but actually in a picture, what I'm talking about. Okay, now I'm going to stop that share. So that's really what we're talking about, because our brain does not distinguish between a good pattern, a pattern that's like good for us, and a pattern that isn't so good for us. Our brain is whatever we feed it and we show consistently that's what we do. It's going to be like, okay, yep, that's what we do. So whether it's every day you come home, you're exhausted and you grab like the Cheetos and a Coke, that's what the brain says. If every day you think, well, I can't run 5 miles, so I'm not going to run at all, or I can't run 1 mile, so I don't want to run at all. What you do instead is you put on your sneakers and you walk quickly for 10 minutes. The brain says, okay, sneaker time, walking. And then you go a little more, a little more, a little. Our brain does not distinguish the difference in the patterns. Okay. So having said all that, this is what I'm going to say. And when I shut this off, we're going to open it up, and I'm going to give you some very specific things that you're going to think about. But just as an overall, what I am going to say is I want you to be honest and true as to what have you done since whenever you set your January intentions. I want you personally to be as honest and true with yourself as possible. You are not required to share anything. You are always invited to share things. The second thing is I'm going to invite you, as we open it up, to accept some deep coaching from me and some beautiful, comments from this group if you want to, because there will be an opportunity for you to go further with this. So having said that, I hope that inspired you. I'm going to shut off this main recording, and yeah, it's an internal game, but yet externally we can help one another through accountability. So I'm going to shut that off right now.